good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Slay to Success Talk Show. My name is Rochelle, Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. I advise and empower women professionals, especially women veterans, to step up into their most authentic personal brand to attract lucrative opportunities. And we are focusing on appearance, behaviors, communication skills, and our digital presence because I fully understand firsthand how these small details can get us to what we desire and what we deserve. Now, we start with the SLAY philosophy. SLAY means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym that stands for Life Universal Leadership Philosophies that really resonate with me the most. And it's stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community, and knowing you are built to last. So as you come in on this show this evening, please let us know where you're streaming and tuning in from and give us a shout out, okay? Because me and my guest, we about to slay this conversation, y'all, and y'all gonna get sick of us because we're gonna be talking through a lot of different interests. We have a very similar passion, and so I thought it was fitting for us to have a conversation here tonight. So good evening, RF Hauling and Junk Removal. How you doing tonight? Which I know is AKA Audra Russell. Thank you so much for being here live with us tonight on the show. And for anyone else who's here live, please let us know where you're streaming in and your name. We do not want to miss you, okay? Because we're giving shout outs here, okay? So the purpose of this talk show is to invite men and women on here as a guest to talk through how they are positively impacting the lives of so many people using the SLAY philosophies. And so tonight, y'all, I have a special guest. Her name is Jen Auh. And she started her image consulting business in her living room. She was helping her friends refine their style and boost their confidence. And she saw firsthand how looking the part transforms not just appearance, but also mindset and opportunities. So the word started to spread, and soon entrepreneurs and professionals were turning to her for guidance. 7 years later, y'all, she's the founder of Style Konsult and the Image Business Accelerator, helping image consultants scale their businesses and change lives. With 20 plus years in beauty and fashion, Jen worked with top brands like Macy's, one of my favorite places, y'all, Bliss, and Too Faced Cosmetics. She's seen it all and knows that confidence starts with how you show up. Now she's on a mission to help 1,000 image consultants impact 1 million lives by teaching them how to build a business that transforms their client success. She's a best-selling author, speaker, and mentor, and helps image consultants turn their passions into profit, whether it's building a standout brand, attracting high-value clients, or making every impression count. She's here to share the secrets of success. And so tonight we're going to be talking everything image, all right, and how looking the part leads to confidence, opportunity, and results. Because as you know, y'all, I'm professional keynote speaker, author, certified image consultant as well, personal brand expert, and United States Air Force veteran of 30 years. And so when I bring in guests, I understand that they are in alignment with what I am doing, what I'm pursuing. So please, y'all, give a warm welcome for my guest, Jen Auh. Hey,
Hi.
Jen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. This journey of entrepreneurship, I just absolutely love the virtual space because you can learn and connect with people. And we connected on LinkedIn initially. And then I attended one of your master classes. And then I just said, hey, I would love for you to be a guest on the show. I think it was both a mutual understanding that we both needed to like collaborate. And so this is one of the opportunities that we get to do that. So I thank you for being here tonight with your experience, your expertise, and your wisdom. So without further ado, y'all, we're just going to get right into it. So as you come in again, please make sure that you put in your name and where you're tuning in from. And if there's something that, gets you going, please just put in a comment. So Jen, you have been in the business for 7 years, but prior to that, I know you have a story. Okay. So, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you were doing prior to becoming an image consultant, and kind of the initial stages of where you're at right now?
So thanks for having me here today. My name is Jen Auh, founder of Style Konsult and Styles, also Image Business Accelerator. So I started image consulting business in my living room as you introduced me, because I was working for this fashion brand, and then people knew that I have 20 plus experience in beauty and fashion. So naturally, people asked me that how they could look better when they have special occasions, even when they have need to really refresh their wardrobe. Then when I helping them, then what I see is that not just that they change their appearance, but their appearance has actually changed their mindset, because if they
Mm,
look good, they can see themselves looking better in the mirror. Then that really boosts their confidence. The confidence attracts more opportunities, open more door for them. And then they could see that actually they could achieve more. That confidence start from their appearance, but then that give them the more achievement. So that will inspire me that, oh my God, this is something that I really wanted to do. So 7 years later, here I am, then I'm being helping more than 100 of my clients to looking the part so that they can actually achieve more and then living their dream life.
yeah, man, there's so much into that, Jen. So let's just kind of break this out just a little bit, because I know that our audience would appreciate that. So, one of the elements that you're speaking to is the confidence level. So you're saying that when you have someone who comes to you and they are asking for some guidance or some support, that the confidence level increases because of what they are wearing. And so tell us a little bit about maybe an experience where you had a client that had a lower self-esteem or lower confidence level, and some of the different strategies or even just tips, maybe some insights, right? Insights onto how do they go from feeling that way to when you were working with them and now they're stepping out with increased confidence.
So that first step is that I call that outside in, because when you look at the book, I know that we always saying that do not judge the book by its cover, but we
Yeah,
do.
we
We do
do.
all the time. If you don't like the book cover, you don't even grab the book and then read the content.
Nope.
Same thing for the people. So we always start from the outside. Once you change, improve your appearance, and then you're looking better, and you can
Mhm.
see that in the mirror. It's not like I don't have to say that you're looking good. You already know that you're looking much better. That boosts your confidence. So when my clients comes in, the first thing that I do is that changing what they already wear, because
Yeah.
this matters. Just a little bit fit. How you wear your current clothes, you don't have to get a new wardrobe to look better. That's not how it works. You already have everything, but then how you put it together, that you
Mm,
actually building that different outfit or the different result. So
yeah.
showing them how easy to make things to look better for themselves. So that actually give them the motivation. Oh wow, this is very easy. It's not something that I have to take a huge step. It's just a small step that you need to take, and then you keep building it. That consistency that I show you to them. So we build a routine, the daily routine they can follow. It takes them less than 5 minutes a day. If you cannot spend 5 minutes a day for yourself, I see that that's the problem. That's the I see that
Big problem.
you should have 5 minutes for yourself a day. So I show to them this is what you're going to do every day, and they
Mhm.
start doing it. They the posture actually improves so that they look more confident because they're standing taller. And also their voice have a more authority, more weight. Also, they know that now they look better, even just small changes. That keeps them going. So
Yeah.
one of my client, he came back a year later. We've been working together in person, and he came as a totally different person. He confessed that he said, "Well, when we start working together, he was a bit skeptical because we talk about image all the time. But then once you see the differences, then it keeps him going." So he
Yeah.
said, "Well, I was a little skeptical, but then I was going to try." So he actually literally did everything I told him to do. Then it changed him. He literally saying he's happier, healthier, also he's wealthier because his whole mindset changed. So his whole life changed. So he's more successful. He's
Yeah.
finished 3 times in 1 year. We talk about millions here. So it's just we are thinking that well, looking good it is something just a myth. It is not. Seeing is believing. If you see yourself in a mirror that you're looking good, that gives you confidence right there, and then anything is possible. So my tip for you today is that you're not taking the huge step to looking the part. No, you're going to actually do the small steps that you're going to implement in your life, and then you keep doing it. That's consistency, that discipline. It will actually make you better every day.
Yeah. Man, that is so good, Jen. I mean, the small steps that you can take instead of trying to do a complete overhaul, because I think that's what people hear when they say, okay, you got to update these wardrobes, you got to refresh or whatever. And you're absolutely right. Everybody's got clothes in their closet. They got price tags on them right now. You probably already have items in there that you haven't worn yet, because you're trying to figure out what do I need to pair it up with. Maybe I don't have the right, accessories, whatever, whatnot, right? But you absolutely do. You just need to know, hey, there's a different way that you can put things together, right? We've got a lot of comments, Jen. Okay, so first of all, we're going to welcome our guests that are here live with us. We have Donnell. So Donnell's here. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much. We have Madeline Ruiz. And Madeline, me and you were conversating on LinkedIn, and you said you were going to be here. So I am so happy that you showed up tonight, Queen. And then Leslie is here. She's a faithful, member of our audience is here. She says she loves that. Confidence attracts
Mhm.
more opportunity. It absolutely does. And Donnell says he always feels more confidence when he looks good. And Leslie says she's speaking the truth. And when you were talking about the book cover,
Oh yes,
people, they look at the book cover and they're like, nah, I'm not going to get that. He says that's the same with movies too.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know,
It's
and then
yeah,
go
it's a
ahead.
human nature. It's a human nature that we judge.
We do. And I think a lot of times people don't want to hear it, but it is reality. When I don't know you and you come and you introduce yourself to me, I'm already kind of doing an assessment, right? I'm seeing if you are ready to have a conversation. I'm seeing if you are, you know, uh, your voice matches what you are saying. I'm looking for you to be, present in the moment. There's a lot of different things that image is composed of, just, outside of the clothes. And I think that when I was in the military, and we were talking about this before, and a lot of my audience members, they are serving in the military or they retired from the military. The image is one of those things that we got judged on. Did you look the part for you to be in a special leadership role? Were you going to bring that same image every single day? Or were you going to be like this up and down, kind of, especially for special events when it counts and it matters the most? So, all the things that you are talking about is extremely helpful, and it is definitely a subject that I was willing to be like, y'all, I'm talking about all this, and some of my friends are like, oh no, here she goes again. I'm like, no, it makes a difference. So Donnell says, don't tell his wife, but he loves to shop.
Great.
Oh, okay. More comments, Jen. When I look at women and see that they just throw their clothes on, I think, oh, you don't take time for yourself.
We actually talked about this. It's looking good. It's actually showing that how much you have a self-respect for yourself. If
Yes.
you don't respect yourself, who is actually going to respect you? If you
Mm,
are putting yourself on top of a list, who's going to actually put you on the top of their list? Nobody. Well, the truth is that even parents love us because they have a unconditional love. But
mhm.
please, everyone put themselves on top of their list. Sorry, you are not number one on their list. So just put yourself on top of your list, showing the respect to yourself, and that's how others are going to respect you.
Yeah. Man, you preaching up in here, Jen.
I
Look,
spend
y'all.
so much time taking care of myself. I'm all about like a me first. You know what? There's a difference between self-centered and selfish. I just really want
Yeah.
you to know the differences. Self-centered is that you put yourself first, but selfish that you actually put yourself first, so you will actually hurt others. But then, yeah, you don't want to hurt others to put yourself first. That's just selfish. But
Yeah.
if you just put yourself on top of your list, you prioritize yourself, that's a self-centered. I think that you should be center of the universe. That's how I see it.
Mm. Yeah, I think a lot of this is so and it is so good for us to be sharing and talking about, especially at this point. And there's a lot of pivoting going on. There's a lot of people who are reassessing their life. They may be shifting from one career to the next, or maybe they're shifting from their career to entrepreneurship. So, there's a lot of different things that are happening around us, but the one thing that remains the same is us, is you. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing to make sure that you are showing up in the best version of yourself? And I'm
Abs-
just saying.
Absolutely.
And Madeline said, that's right. Humans judge. We do, and we take it again, we're taking a look, we're seeing, hey, what's going on, so Jen, and Madeline had one more. She said, looking good takes work
Oh yeah, it's every day. But the
every
reason
day.
why it is so, let's you thinking about you want to have a six pack, you want to be in a shape. Then we go to gym, then make it work. Image is the same. If you want to look good, you gotta put in work. If you just okay, so now I'm good. You let's say you're in shape, so you feel like the work is done. No, you gotta maintain it. And because your image involved as your life involved, so that your image actually it's not static, it change. So if we every stage you are in your life, your image should be reflected where you are now, where you're going. For
Mhm.
instance, if you're entrepreneur, you got to show in that how confident you are and how much you love what you do, because entrepreneurship, you chose to be the one. Nobody will be pushing you to be entrepreneur. That's so you need
Mhm.
to own it. Meaning that it's not just your work. Your image should be working for you because you make that first impression. I'm the owner, I'm the entrepreneur, and then I own it. That's how people are going to see you from your image. If you're professional, if you want the promotion, you got to do the work, meaning that your image need to showing that I'm going higher, I'm going further, and then this is who I am. So your image actually tell the others that where you are now, where you're heading. So that keeps changing.
Yeah, you're ever evolving, and
Every,
you're ever. Oh, you know what I mean? So, and we both shift, we both went from a standard career, if you
Mhm.
will, to entrepreneurship. And I knew that when I showed up, I had to show up as my business, right? As I am the image consultant. If I, as the image consultant, don't show up as an image consultant, I don't get clients. I'm just gonna put it that way. You know what I mean? No one wants to no one wants to work with someone who does not look the part and says, "Hey, I'm gonna take this seriously." So when I'm showing up, I'm showing you, hey, I'm not polished and perfect all the time, but I am working at showing up in the best version of myself. And it is allowing me to get the opportunities that I am seeking. And sometimes people will say, oh, well, that's just too much. Well, what is it that you want? Right?
Exactly. So you get what you work for. So your image is literally, you are walking billboard. Let's put it that way. You are literally walking billboard. So even though you're just walking down the street, you're thinking nobody looking at you, but you are making impression every step you take. Walking down the street, or that you're on social media, everything you do, the image you post, the comment you make, it's all make the impression for you 24/7. That whole thing actually make an image. So when you're thinking that, well, today I'm just going to be comfortable, then stay home, don't go out.
Hey, drop the mic right there, right? Say it again, Jen. Say it again for the people in the back.
If you really want to be comfortable, okay, today I'm going to be comfortable, don't go out, stay home. That's it. That's how simple that is. If you are actually going to step out of your house, even just to put the trash out, I want you to be ready, so that so you don't feel like, oh, I'm not ready to showing somewhere. I need you thinking that like every step you take out of your house, you are going to make that step to make that impression without you acknowledge it or not.
Yeah. So speaking to which, okay. Um, I went to this function for my son the other night, and I had on a particular outfit that I had worn earlier for an event, but it was most fitting for the event because it said banquet. Okay, so that's why we're going to get into like environments and being, aware of where you're going and what the event calls for. Because I think there's a little bit of a disconnect for some who think, okay, for me, when I hear banquet, it's plates, hard plates, right? For real forks, buffet style. The room is decorated. There's a certain element to that. So I wore a dressy suit outfit, and I walk in and I'm like, "Am I at the banquet?" I see leggings and sweatshirts and jogging pants and all these other types of pieces that doesn't really meet. It doesn't match the event. And I saw that some people were a little bit uncomfortable. And I, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, where is this disconnect coming from? So, as you know, the world is changing, Jen.
Mhm.
There's a more of a lax, if you will, style. And, I just want to know what your thoughts about that are.
So if I think that overdress is always better than underdress, because
Mm-hmm.
when you overdress, you stand out. But then if we, but proudly, or so you yourself elevate that whole event because you
Mm-hmm.
dress up for that. So it's showing that you always prepare. So if you're not sure about what you need to, how you need to dress, how you need to show up, I always recommend my client overdress is always better than underdress. Because you'll be sending out, if everyone's so casual, but you're all so put together, you will draw that attention, even though you don't have to do anything because you look so good. Just that. So one of my clients actually, so he wanted this tech event because he's an entrepreneur, also software engineer, and he just standing there. And then these two guys that came up saying that, oh, you work in a fashion? He's like, oh no, like I'm software engineer, and then I'm working on this my company doing developing the software. Oh really? So tell me about it. And then later that, we really like your blazer. So where did you get it? So even that, because he was dressing so well for this conference, that so it drew the attention to him. He didn't have to do anything. It's much better that people approach you rather than you approaching the other.
Yes.
When people approaching you, they're ready to listen about your story. So you don't have to pitch yourself. You don't have to look for the opportunity pitching your story, because if others already approaching you, they're already curious, they're intrigued by you just by looking at you. That open the opportunity. So now, oh, tell me about what you do, because they're thinking that he's from fashion. Obviously not, but you want to dress so well.
Yeah. It's so true. I know it happens to you as well. I go to networking events and I have so many conversations. I have so many. And I have met so many great people. I have been able to collaborate and partner with organizations because, my whole theme, if you will, is anything around pink. Okay. So I am sort of I branded myself in this particular way, and I wear pink wherever I go, as well as their bold prints. There's a kind of like this contemporary flair to it, and it always strikes conversation, always. So let you know let us talk a little bit about personal branding, because I know that is part of our vernacular as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean to you, and how can others improve their personal brand?
It's about comfortable in your own skin. People thinking that, oh, I need to build my brand, and then where do I start? As I said, you actually start with you. That your image is actually foundation of your personal branding, because if people see you first before they learn about you, what kind of message you want to share, what your value is. So have your image that's safe for you, and you feel comfortable in your on your skin, then that's actually going to be beginning of your personal brand. So as your image involved, your branding also involves too, because you are not the same person, as you have more experience, and you have more story to tell, and you involve with your professional or career or your personal development, that you are the different person than a year ago, even 6 months ago. So don't thinking that, okay, so what I am putting as in my personal brand, it's going to be stay like this forever. That's not the case. It involves. So you're thinking about, okay, where do I need to start with my personal brand? It start with you, and it's with your image, because people see you first. So the perception, because how people perceive you, it's going to impact that what your influence will be. So if you want to have the influence, or you want to elevate your influence in a more positive way, then make sure that you look the part.
Yeah. And it is definitely a game changer. I'll just say this. It is, if you can be consistent with
Mm-hmm.
your brand, and show up, and like you said, be comfortable in it, own it, knowing who you are, and stick with it, the heavens, if you will, they open up. Okay, they open up with the opportunities that you are looking for. And when you're saying, hey, it evolves, so we all have been through some transition. Everyone goes through some type of transition in their life. And some of us have been stuck, in this season, and we are now looking to refresh. And so you're saying, hey, start out, little bit at a time. So what is the 5-minute routine that you are speaking to, which is the small step that someone can take that they can do consistently?
The first of all is that find the wall. Find the wall have got no ledge, so it's just the flat wall. So I want you to standing there that the straight, because actually that's what the models usually do, have like a straight posture. So if you're
Mm,
standing against the wall, that only your head and your butt and then the back of your heel touching it and your shoulder, standing there for 1 minute, not moving. You're thinking that, oh yeah, I could do it. It's not easy as you think. Just standing there, straight position, have your shoulder open, just only the 4 points touching the wall, against the wall. Do 1 minute. I guarantee you, if you do that every day for 1 minute, it
mm,
will change your posture. You'll be actually, your shoulder will be more open. You'll be standing taller. Also, make sure that your tummy is tucked in because that's how you're actually going to be stronger core. So 1 minute a day,
yeah.
1 minute. Other
Yeah.
thing that I really need to have a full size mirror. Every day you that's by the door. So the last thing that you will see yourself is before that you walk out the door, check yourself. You only take a few minutes, but few seconds actually, few seconds that if you are actually the way you're supposed to be, if you are not comfortable the way you're walking out, I need to go back and then do the proper way and then check yourself again before you step out your door.
Yeah.
That actually less than 5 minutes. I only so what I tell them to do is that just not many steps because we cannot remember all that stuff. But 1 minute standing against the wall and check yourself before you're leaving the house. That's less than 5 minutes. But that routine, if you do that every day, it will become like a breathing air. You are doing that without thinking because your body will remember. Stop at the door, check yourself before you leave the house.
Yeah.
Will change that because once you aware about yourself, that awareness actually give you that clear goal. Oh, tomorrow I will spend a little more time. Or
Mm,
today I look really great. I like how I look today, so you will be remembering it, what you are actually wearing. So trying and error, that's actually going to have you need to spend some time to learning that. But then when you have expertise like Slay Queen here, she could help you to make the process of faster. But then if you want to start small step, you're going to do two things starting today, even tonight, standing against the wall, and then just check yourself before you go to sleep how you look.
yeah. I agree. These little, I wouldn't even say they're just details, I guess. There's little details that you could do to improve your overall appearance. And this is not being, what we're speaking to, y'all, is not being pretty and being, like beautiful or anything like that. It is about truly presenting yourself in the way that you want to be presented. I think there's a gap between what people want people to know about them and how they want to be perceived and what is actually being perceived. There is a gap there. And so sometimes when we have to take time to really figure out like what it is that we want to do and where do we want to go and how do we want to show up. And so I have a tip as well that I let my clients know too is when you get up, like for me, I work out. So before I brush my teeth or anything like that, I go downstairs. We have a gym. I work out. But when I come back and I get fully dressed for the day,
Mhm.
fully dressed for the day at the top of the day. Why? Because if something should happen where someone should call and say, hey, can you meet me? Or I need to go run an errand, at the last minute, or I got a phone call from my son. Oh, I forgot my tennis shoes. Mommy, can you please bring them to the school? These things, I showed up more prepared, more ready, more, like I wasn't as upset because I was already dressed. You know what I mean? If I had to stop and get dressed at the last minute, there's something that happens with my mindset. I don't know what, it just throws me off. So
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't know if you do the same thing or not, Jen, but I just get dressed, fully dressed at the top of the day.
Absolutely. The first thing I do is just I just go straight to take a shower.
Yeah.
That's what I do because that actually put in the mindset, okay, and I took a shower, I'm gonna get ready. So this is something that I've been doing over 30 years. So the first thing I do, I just take a shower. So that actually put me in the mindset. Then I drink a cup of water. I call the internal shower. So that it's not just
Mm.
outside that you clean, but you got to clean your inside too. So first thing I do that I take a shower, then I drink a cup of water. Drinking so I take an internal shower as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these are so good. And even Madeline says they're very old school practices that are so valuable today. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, these things don't go away. These things are tried and true. I totally believe in what I am doing. We have two more guests that we had come in. We had Keith. Hey, Keith. And Latrice. Hey, Queen. And so thank you both for being here with us and really listening into this conversation. My dad, he used to wear a suit every day. Every day. He served in the military too, but after he retired, he just used his suit as the means, it was the vehicle to get him into places and to create relationships with a lot of different people in the community. And he swore by it. He's like, I wear these suits every day. And now when I look back at that, I'm like, it absolutely works because people take you more seriously. People want to like talk to you a little bit more. People want to invite you into special events or invitations to things. And it's surprisingly for me, I'm thinking, an image consultant sometimes gets a bad rap.
Mm.
Okay. Sometimes gets a bad rap. So have you ever had anyone push back from anything that you have tried to share with them?
Yes, actually, I get these questions time to time, especially from the never had image consulting.
Uh-huh.
I tell people that, well, I did not reach out to my client, they came to me. So I
Mm.
always tell people that thinking like a doctor. If you go see a doctor and then ask a doctor that, hey, this is my symptom, and then your doctor tell you that, okay, this is what you need to do, would you reject what doctor tell you to do? No, because doctor didn't go out tell people, hey, you are sick, I will help you. That's not how it works. And then image consulting is the same thing too. People come to you, get your help, so that they are already ready to open up. But they might be skeptical at first, and then they're like, okay, so now I learned something about it. Maybe I will do it or not. But at least they know that where they're standing. Just like I told you about my client that he was a little bit skeptical, but he's like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try, and then he saw the result. So now he's doing much better, and he knows that the important about showing up, looking the part. So it's not so people never had image consulting because they're not ready, and then
Yeah.
they're so we're not going to pursue them. They're like people who not ready yet. Just like a doctor tell people saying that you are my patient. No, they are not because they
No.
believe that they have the symptom yet.
Yeah.
So there that is a myth. Like, oh, people really like listen to you. Yes, because they came to me for the solutions.
Yeah. Exactly. And you know what? You said something too about, we the doctors don't necessarily reach out to patients and say, "Hey, I'm open for service. Come on in here." Um I think it's so important too to understand that we are different in our own unique ways. You know, my clients, are typically women veterans, and they are transitioning from the military. And so sometimes they don't even know where to start, but they do know that they want to be more bolder. They want their statement pieces. They want, items that bring their personalities out, draw their expressions out, because we had to subdue them for a very long time in the uniform. And so, you know, when you are seeking an image consultant, you have to find somebody who is in alignment with what you are trying to achieve. Because yes, you can come see me, and you can go see Jen, but maybe neither one of us do it for you. you know so
Mm-hmm.
you really do have to watch. I always share with my leads, or people that I know that are always looking. I'm like, just watch and observe. If it's something that resonates with you, that I'm doing or that I am sharing, then we'll probably be a perfect fit. But all this to say, do your homework, y'all. Okay, just do your homework and find out who it is that you want to guide you. This, I think, is a spiritual journey, because it is about you. And sometimes the emotions come out on, I was doing a certain thing for so long, like behaviors can stop your opportunity in a hot second. Something that you have done for many years and you thought it was correct, or it worked for you in one environment, may not necessarily work for you in your other environment. So, has that been something that you have noticed when you're working with your clients as well?
So my clientele now is that I mainly work with men, because that's how I started too. Because my very first client actually nurse, male nurse. So he was wearing the scrub for a long time, for a decade, and then he got promoted to the manager. So once
Mm.
you promote to the manager, you don't wear scrub anymore.
Oh, no.
No, you got to dress like a manager. So he just put it anything that he had in the closet, and then went to work. Because it was a big hospital like a Kaiser. So he had the manager position actually really high. Then the director called him in saying, you don't look like a manager. You need to dress better. So he
Mm.
was panicking. And then that's how my friend actually told him about me, and then asked me that, hey, could you help him? So that's how, so we literally, like, I went to his house, and then I didn't know him, but then we work it out. Then we got a new wardrobe, a couple more trousers, and then shirt and shoes, literally only 5 items. Then he went back to work next day, and he got so many compliments that, like, he really make him feel like, oh, I got this. Now,
Yeah.
after that, he actually started his own healthcare business. From like,
Really?
yes, because now he see himself that he's doing much better, because he got this confidence. Like, once that he got the validation, not just from me, but
Mm-hmm.
other people that validate he's doing great. That actually make him go further, higher, and even bigger, having his own business. So
Wow.
that kind of always remind me that then I do have female clients too. But what I noticed that, because I work in a corporate so long, and also I have my own business, I work well with entrepreneurs and a professional who actually want to go higher. And then the female clients, they have a similar trait as the male client. Their ambitions, they are very successful, and then they want to be better. So
Yeah.
that's my clientele. So my clientele, I learned that as I help more people. And obviously my approach is very direct, because that's how work with the men, because there's no tiptoeing. There's
No tiptoeing.
no romance about it, because I just give them the answer. And then they appreciate that, because I
Yeah.
don't make them choose. So my approach here worked for them because most of my clients, they have a decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is a real thing, actually.
Yeah, it is. I
It,
talked about it the other day.
oh, great. That's a real thing. If you have to
It is.
make a decision all the time throughout the whole day, your brain literally like just overwork. You do not want to make the decision anymore. So
No.
yeah, so I don't give it to them any option. Either this is it and you don't do it.
Yeah,
So and the people like it because you really remove that old decision process they have to make. That's
absolutely.
how I work, and it works for my clients too. Obviously, it's not for everyone, but the thing is that I'm not for everyone. I
Mhm.
only have my people that who can really align with what I do. It's the same for every image consultant. The great thing about image consulting is that every image consultant they have a different background, they have a different story, and they have a different expertise.
Yeah,
So there's so many options. So you guys have you're listening to this live. So do your homework, like the Slay Queen said. Do your homework because there are just so many doctors out there, so many lawyers out there, but you don't choose any doctor or any lawyer to work with. It's the same thing for the image consultant. Image
it
consultant,
is.
right, it will align with what you need, and you find them. You do your homework to find the right person to improve your image the way you actually feel comfortable about. So you're absolutely right. It's everyone's different.
Yeah. And you know what? We are so in alignment. Y'all, this is kind of crazy, but it's like I talked about decision fatigue
Oh my God, for real.
last week because it is a real thing. I
Mhm.
remember I was serving in some high stressful, making decisions every second during the day for many years. And the last thing that I wanted to do was make a decision about what I was eating, what I
Mhm.
was wearing, what we were going to do after work. I did not need, I couldn't, the capacity. So when
Mhm.
it comes to highly driven, ambitious people, they don't want to make a decision. And I'm the same way. I'm very direct and to the point. I am a consultant. We are consultants. I tell you what to do.
Mhm.
I tell you, here is what you need to do right now. All right. To improve your image and therefore build a better reputation because sometimes my clients come to me in distress. There's a situation that has happened at work where they've been misinterpreted and all it boils down to is really how they are looking, the part that they are in, and not really showing up the way that the role or the position calls for. So, yes, we definitely understand that this is something that is unique to us. We are individuals that we truly by heart we want people to succeed, we want people to win, we understand the secrets to the success, and one of them is by owning and maintaining your image.
Absolutely. Seeing is believing. That's so true. And then your image is making the impression without you saying a word.
Yes. Absolutely. I never, thought about that too much until probably about a year or so ago. And now I don't even say a word. I just walk in and sometimes like, oh, I don't know if you should be wearing this today, Queen. I'm like, yep, we wearing this today. And, I step in and it's like, oh, Lord, so, I absolutely love this space. And Leslie says she loves the direct. She works with that way with her women that she
Mhm.
works with, and she helps women to write their books. So
Great.
she's very direct. And then Joyce is here. One of my family members is here. So thank you so much for being with us here tonight. So I just absolutely love our conversation that we are having tonight, y'all. So if you could share with the audience before we kind of close out for the evening, some of the maybe some thoughts or some ideas for anyone who is looking to start their journey, maybe they're, in a transition right now. They're not quite sure. We did talk about, hey, do the 1 minute of standing on a wall, drinking water or whatnot. But maybe there is, a little bit of composition with the wardrobe. Because I know I build a wardrobe, from different perspectives or whatnot. And I don't know if that's something that you also do as well. So say, for example, I don't have anything in my closet right now that I want to wear. So what would you tell me to do?
Actually, actually, you do. You just don't know how to put it together. That's where the effort comes in. So saying that. So this is if not just my client, because obviously client comes to me to work with me, but then in general, this is what I tell. Like if they want to improve their image, you have two options. If you have a budget, the fastest way is actually working with the expert to get the goal, then get the goal faster so that you can achieve your goal faster too. If you do not have a budget, then you need to spend your time. So the
Mm,
mean that you need to go to certain stores or the certain shopping mall and then try all different outfits. Because trying outfit, it doesn't cost you a dime, but it's going to cost your time. But as you try many different outfits, then you will feel that how certain wardrobe make you feel. That's how you kind of get to know about yourself. Oh, I like this way. Or, oh, this
mhm.
actually, I look better this way. But you just don't know why, but there's a certain look that you feel comfortable about it. That's how you're actually going to start getting to know yourself first.
Mhm.
So if you have a time, spend it. If you have a fun, spend with your expert. If you feel like you don't have anything in your closet that you want to wear, trust me, you do have it. You just don't know how to put it together. 100%. You do have
100%.
it. 100%. You have it. You just don't know how to put it together.
Well, listen, you may have it, but I think, I'm 52 years old. Okay. Now, I don't know how old you are, Jen. I'm not
I'm
going to
going,
ask you for age.
I'm going to be 49 this year. I'm
Okay.
50 next year.
Okay, so we in the same, like age, category here. Your body starts shifting at a certain age, right? Things that were easy for you to do to maintain your body composition may be a little bit more difficult as you transition, because as a woman we go through different seasons, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of women will say, I don't have anything to wear. Well, and in my case, what I share with them is, and then you need to go buy you stuff to wear, because if you if you wait until you have the body that you actually want, these opportunities are slipping away, because you're just saying to yourself, I don't want to invest in anything, but yet and still you want to be in a different place in your life. And truly, it's all about figuring out how, these pieces, these clothes can be most fitting for the body that you have right now.
That's very, very important actually. You bring up the very good point, because yeah, our body change really. So if you feel like you don't have anything to wear in your closet right now, I always recommend you start small. Because unless you work with the expert, you are going to make a lot of try and error. You are going to. So if you are starting your own, start small, which is start with accessories. If you have
Mhm.
different accessories, the same outfit will look different. You could make a very versatile, even the same outfit. So the first thing that you want to get is a scarf. Scarf, you could make it many different ways. It could be the belt, how you actually wrap it around your body. It will make new, even the basic t-shirt and jean, it will
Mhm.
elevate how you look. So start with a scarf. Because the reason that I say in scarf, because everyone have a different face shape, the color. And but so that will be, if you go to accessories like earrings and then necklace, there's too many options out there. It's very confusing for you to choose that actually what make you look better wearing them. But the scarf is a very easy choice you could make, because first of all, it's a very easy, low investment that you could take. So that then you all you need to do just wrap around your neck or wrap
Yeah.
around your shoulder. That's all you need to do. So easy. But having different pattern, different color, how you wear it, it's going to be make your wardrobe, the current wardrobe, will more versatile or elevated. So start
Yeah.
with a
Yeah. I love that. I had a woman that I did a workshop, and she did a whole scarf presentation of different ways that you can wear a scarf. And it was just absolutely intriguing to me. So that's
I'm
absolutely great.
wearing scarf now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And it's a
I
tie.
Yeah, but I make you look like a tie, but this is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah, I mean, there was so many different ways that you can
so
do that,
many
and
different.
we again, you say we have these things at our house and we have these in our closet, so, we just need to make them work for us and not against us.
Exactly. So get scarf like a silk scarf, or there's something that like a very light, because then you can make it many different ways. It could be around your head. You can wear as your headband, or if you have a longer hair, you can wear the hair tie. So there's just so many different ways to do it. So get different kind of scarf, or you can go to store, try them. That what kind of scarf that you like the most, but don't get anything thick. Get something very light and thin so that you can wrap multiple times. Also, try different size. There's a handkerchief size that you can
Yeah,
do the front tie. And if you have a long one, just like mine, mine is a big one, then you can wear it a tie or around it. There's just so many different ways.
yeah,
So start with a scarf.
yeah. I love that. Well, Jen, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here on the show. And thank you so much for entertaining us and giving us some tips and some advice and some true wisdom about image, because I think it is important and we can't talk about this enough. And so, thank you, everybody, for being here. Madeline said you are so gentle and considerate. Karen just came in. Hey, 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 Queen. Thank you so much for coming in. And R5 Hauling and Junk Removal said great information, and thank you both. So we had quite a few people here. We had Audra Russell, who is R5 Hauling and Junk Removal, Donnell Johns. We had Madeline, Leslie. Just want to make sure we had a Chevy, Key, Latricia, Joyce, Karen. Thank you so much. And Leslie says this was amazing. Thank you.
So thank you.
So I do have one more question that I ask all of my guests before we leave. And I'm working towards my 80th birthday party. I want a big party, if God gives me the days. And so I always think about, what is it that I'm going to leave? What is my legacy going to be? What will my family and friends say about me at that birthday party? So I'm going to ask you the question. What do you want your family and friends to say about you on your 80th birthday?
Um, Being generous. I
Mm.
think generosity is very important. That's the greatest thing, that also it doesn't cost you anything, but then the impact is really invaluable. For instance, the other day actually, that I witnessed this bike hit a person on the street. I'm
Oh.
in New York City, and then it was so I stayed there until that ambulance came in. Make sure that the traffic actually not hitting the person that who actually fell, and then he was heavily bleeding.
Mm.
There's just so many people stay around. They're calling the 911. And then they staying around making, they bring the towels. This guy that gave his t-shirt, clean t-shirt from the gym, that made sure that he can put in his face that stop the bleeding. And then this whole kindness and a generosity, that's how make this world a better place. And then I see there's so many great people. We hear that all this news about not so great, but then
Yeah.
there are actually so many good, generous people, kind people in the world, and they're helping each other. So when my 8th birthday, I want people to see me as I was kind to them. I want them to remember me as I was generous to them.
Oh, you know what? I absolutely think that's so beautiful. And, I haven't met you in person, but just being with you over the past couple of times that we've been able to, I already see it in you. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us on the Slay to Success Talk Show. And for all of our guests for being here. And listen, y'all, we will be back here next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have another SLAYMAZING guest, and we're going to have another SLAYMAZING conversation. So make sure that you tune in for that. And go ahead and subscribe and share to the YouTube channel so that way we can get more people to understand and learn about all these amazing people that are using the slay philosophies to make a positive impact in this world. So we got y'all just come with these comments. That was beautiful. Joy said that was beautiful, and Madeline says that is so nice. And
It
so
was amazing. There's just so many people just staying around until the ambulance came.
yeah,
I live in New York City. People are thinking that like we are just so busy to live and working here, but people do care. And
yeah,
then just being there, that how caring, how kind, and how generous everyone around there, it really made me feel like, you know what, the world is actually great place.
yeah. Yeah, and I've been in New York City. My husband's from New York, so I understand what you say when some people say that they're not, but there are some really great people in
Absolutely.
this world. Yes. All right, y'all. We will see you all very soon. Keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.